Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review. Chapter 1178 Waking from a Nightmare. Last chapter is basically a follow up where you got that Zoro and the Giants killing as many dummy reverse giants as they can. Sanji's group seems to have defeated Killingham. Usopp confronts Emu, giving a rousing speech to calling him a bit of a coward for trying to control the giants through unhanded tactics. And then Luffy and Loki arrive. Luffy gets scolded by Nami for Loki's destruction. And then, of course, Luffy and Loki meet Emu for the first time. Though granted, Emu possessing Gunko, but nevertheless, hinting that the two of them are about to clash with let's see with the two are about to clash with him with Loki. Emu. So yeah, with that, let's see set up in the way. Let's see. Is Oda going to do a full-on fight, or is he going to do something else? So we're going to find out more of the fates of the Gods Knights, and the other sea giants. Which I probably also mentioned that Chopper seems to have now has the ability to somehow undo the dummy reverse abilities just by simply touching them. How it's to many think he has the forest god fruit. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, on to the chapter. Though before that, we've got the reader's request. Kid being chased by a bull character at the Cape by the Cape, in which we see, as you can see, Kid doing the typical run from a character running for their life and being chased by one of this typical design for a bull, if you will. It's a nice little funny cover thing. Kid running for his life, if you will. Now, let's see. I've seen, but look, granted, it's interesting that I've seen either people saying that, "Ooh, this is Oda mocking Kid," or Oda is perhaps slightly hinting that maybe Kid will return. At the very least, I'm not sure if he's foreshadowing anything with this. I mean, it would be nice that if Kid does return, because I do want to have him at least even get something at least after the Shanks defeat, if you will, but and get some form of redemption. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. But one thing I say, I do let's see if I did have to guess if maybe foreshadowing since if Kid does come back, I wonder if he maybe fights someone like Topman Walkery, since I think Dragon is going to fight for Garland, and let's see, and I think Shanks is going to fight Shamrock, if you will. And I thought maybe Dragon would fought Topman Walkery, but nope, it seems like that might be left for someone else. And I think Zoro's going to fight Nesjuro, and I think Sanji. Likely Marcus Mars, and that's maybe Topman Walker himself, but nevertheless, who knows? But yeah, I do think there's now going to be a 5 Elder that's a bit available, and why not give it to Kid? So yeah, let's see, have him grow as a character or something. But that's just my thoughts on the cover. Anyway, on to the actual chapter, in which we start with our straw hats as we see Luffy. Let's see, saying hi to them with Nami realizing that they both got Usopp and Brock with him, and what's happened to them, and he asks them as Luffy just asks them to take care of. We just see Usopp and Brock very damaged. Frankie asking if he wants backup. And Luffy saying, "Only I'll call you if I need you, but for now, keep your distance." And says that Loki's going to get pretty reckless. With Sanji saying that's coming from you, which is that perhaps I think Fizz does a bit of a missed an opportunity to saying that's rich coming from you, but yeah. And we see that Loki in his dragon form is creating a lightning blast. As Emus talked about some years ago about a giant was spotted at sea sinking world government, it's a particular captain with a very large giant, was taking out vessels and ships that belong to the world government. Let's see, while hiding in the deep mists, if you will. And as Loki does he blasts his attack, causing a massive explosion. With Luffy saying, "Hey, I want to take a turn beating the bad guy." and thinking that, okay, as the rumors are going on far and wide of a massive flying creature, let's see, with Loki just cursing that, let's see, that the Emu Gunko was too tiny for him to hit. And now Emu's just like saying that, okay, so it was you and all that stuff. I'm saying the dots connect, thinking that, okay, Loki, see, the person that he's fighting now is basically the one that's been attacking government ships behind the mists, if you will. So, yeah. With Luffy then finally arriving, saying that he's going to make him pay for what you did to both Usopp and Brook. And then Emu sort of spurts out of Gunko, and this kind of shocks Luffy as he comments about something popped off, as you see shadowy form, similar to what I think happened at God Valley, if you will, which I was a bit surprised since I thought he could only do that with the 5 elders. And he talks about it says, only thou wouldn't vanish off the face of the earth as rocks did, just wishing that both Luffy and Loki would disappear. And he attempts to attack them both. With his thread things with circles around them, declaring, in exchange for a portion of thy lifespan, you grant me greater strength. In return, you shall hate one another. And we see that Emu attempts to do a dummy reverse on the Straw Hats. I mean, on Luffy and Loki, but as they're staring him down, it's, as you can see, it has no effect on them. With Luffy wondering what the deal with this, it doesn't even work. With Loki telling them to just get this black stuff off him and ask, what did you just say about rocks? And Emu is thinking, as he suspects, that they are both. But Luffy attempts to do one of his gum attacks with Loki in his dragon form, with his screw on his back, saying the target's so small he can't fight. As Luffy is preparing to do his own fighting, if you will, uses the move called Dawn Gatling as Emu's looking on with this attack, and Luffy's blown to bits, similar to how Yonko and Garp, Roger, and Rocks try to, but of course Emu regenerates. And Loki, turns back into his regular form of Ragnia, though turned into a hammer, though you can see his screw face on the hammer, which is kind of nice. With Loki saying, "Look out, Luffy," and Luffy's like, "Whoa, wait," as Emu's about to attack. As Emu is just trying to regenerate, Loki is about to strike, and Loki in his in his giant form with Ragnia freezes Emu with Nibelheim, and both Emu and Gunko are frozen solid. With Luffy shocked that you can do that with a finisher. And Emu saying, haven't got Luffy saying, wait, I haven't got enough in to fight the guy, but he then depowers into his skinny rundown form, if you will, after Gear 5. With Loki saying, I don't know who that is in there, but he figured that this is a curation, as he was just too big before to try and take down Emu, if you will. And then we cut to some of those different villages in Elbaf, like the Fisherman Village, the Huntsman, and all that stuff. And they're trying to put out fires and and while acknowledging that Loki got rid of monsters, cursing him for causing too much destruction, if you will. And even though it's like Loki didn't kill King Harold, it's as well, may feel bad for that. It's they're still mad of what he did to their village. So yeah. Anyway, we've seen Nami trying to Nami ordering Zeus to keep down the Ritzy, sending the rain down. Ritzy, as Zeus is trying to tell her she's trying. And Jinbei uses his fisherman karate shoulder throw to move water into one place and to another, I think to the fire, if you will. And Gunko is not Gunko, Lilith is saying there's only so much ODC system, the ODC system can do, as commenting about how let's see what it can take to put out the fire. Anyway, we cut back to the Western Village where all the surrounding giants are sort of talking about that it's finally over, celebrating, and we're talking about how it flipped back white to their success. It was a success, but Richard with was saying, but if they get back up, it wasn't enough. As you get to see some of the dummy reverse giants that have been actually undone with it, apologizing that they're taken over by some wicked urge. With Dory saying, "Don't let it bother you. We failed to resist it as well." And we see a few more dummy reverse giants cursing their captains. See, as the others realize that, the group realize that there's still a handful left, but Chopper comes in, if you will, and hold on, let me just get the image. Right, let me just nope, not that one. We see Chopper. Oops, let me just we see Chopper as Soul's about to try and let's fight them, but Chopper arrives. Ritzy slaps the dummy reverse giant in the back, and as you can see, they they flip over with shocking everyone here, if you will. With like Chopper saying, "Hey Zo," and Soul's going like, "What did you just do?" But Chopper's going like, "I don't know why, but all I have to do is hit them, and their cures are demonic powers." With Zo saying, "Is it because you're such a good doctor?" And Chopper does the classic, "What? You think so? Don't burn me up, you jack," kind of line, if you will. Let's see, trying to reject praise, but actually happy. Let's see what one of the giants say, but it must be well done, Gabba Gabba Gabba, which I think was Dory and Broggy saying that. Anyway, Julian says that they cleared up the area, but wondering what is going on with everyone else. With all the villagers saying that there's no enemies around their villages, but they're dealing with fire. But yeah, basically, places like Craftsman Village and Brewer villages are just talking about, let's see, no enemies, but they're on fire, if you will, from possibly Loki's attack. And they're just saying, everyone's just saying, just put out the fire and get confirmation whether the demons are alive or not. And then we cut to sort of like Nico, Robin, and Sol, where they've gone to the library and they realize that the fire was definitely raging on inside, but they don't see a single charred book, and realize that all the shelves are empty. And Sol realizes that he doesn't see Bibble around Bibble the owl neither. And they're hoping for the best, with Robin going like, "Did you remove all the books?" and wondering if that would be wonderful, but where's the bird now? And when we have Sanji talking about how they finally started fighting back, but it didn't take long to defeat them all. But Frankie's like, it's not like it's an all-out war against the whole organization. Knights of the High Land are not. It's only 3 of them. And saying, Sanji's saying, if anything, they were punching above against Elbaf. With Killingham wondering like what happened to the Great Emu. And then as we go to the outside village, we see Saint Summers attempting to cursing I think whoever harmed him, but he's reattaching himself to his head. And we see a metal heart here, if you will, but Luffy is still worn out and stuff and asking Loki for food. But Loki saying, "I don't have food, you go to a village," and all that stuff. And asking why does Luffy look like an old shrivel up man? But Luffy just wants to ask more food. But you got like the squirrel just looking down as well, so it's kind of funny. But anyway, we see that Emu disappears, and it's revealed that he is, let's see, back in the sacred land of Marisha, and we see actually some parts of the buildings that seem to have been burned down. As we are in the Chamber of Flowers, as Emu tells the 5 elders that he'll be leaving for the Holy Land this time, shocking them, ending the chapter. So, yeah, that is the chapter. So, yeah, anyway, time for my overall thoughts. Okay, I suppose the first thing I do like is that Luffy is making sure that his, let's see, injured comrades, Brock and Usopp, return safely to the rest of the crew so that they can be protected and healed, if you will, while he goes fight Emu with Loki, which means that they're not in harm's way. And I do like how some of the Straw Hats are asking what happened to both Brook and Usopp. But I do not think that these two are going to be down for the fight. There's still some narrative stuff that needs to happen with Gunko with Brock, and it seems Oda's finally starting to build some stuff up with Usopp in this arc, finally, which, so, yeah. But at the moment, Luffy's just telling him to wait here. I do like how Frankie says should we back him up, but I do like how Luffy says only if we need to. But at the moment, Loki's causing a bit of rampage, so so it's best to be careful and stay away. But I like how Sanji's saying that's rich coming for you, because Luffy causes all kinds of chaos, if you will, when he's like when he's being reckless. So yeah. So it's like he knows his captain is reckless, so it doesn't really make much difference with him and Loki. So, but yeah, but I do like how you are seeing Britzy with Loki. He's trying to use like his dragon form to try and take out the Gunko Emu. But I like the part I like about this thing is that we get some confirmation of what Loki's been doing since leaving Elbaf after killing his father. He has been in a mirror sense been doing what his father's done, as attack enemy ships in the mist, though granted that was when Hal was serving the Guards Knights. Loki was not. Instead he was attacking government ships, sort of doing guerrilla warfare tactic like that. But anyway, I do like how Loki Emu's able to figure out that okay, that the person that was doing that with like a crew of giants, let's see, ages ago was you. I am still kind of curious what happened to Loki's crew. I'm wondering if Oda's ever going to reveal that. I assume something happened with them when they encountered Shanks, but that is the best I can go with, if you will. So, but yeah. So, but yeah, other than that, I will admit I did like seeing Luffy trying to get mad, but then also shocked. Right, see when Emu left Gunko's body, which I will admit, it kind of surprises me because, well, I thought Emu could only do that with like the 5 elders. Though granted, Gunko seems to be rather special compared to the other Gods Knights for Emu. So who knows? Maybe she has a stronger contract. Though I think there's like only 5 deep sea contracts or something like that. But yeah, but nevertheless, I do like how when Loki's fighting them, he's mentioning rocks, and Loki ends up hearing this and wait, rocks? Wait, what's this about rocks? As I think Oda's clearly building up a bit more to like Loki finding out that Emu is the one that got Rocks killed, if you will, humiliate him and all that stuff. I can see Loki raging, ready to take out the Emu. Ready to take out the Emu as he's threatening Elbaf. So, but yeah. Anyway, on. So I do like at the very least that, but I do like how Emu is attempting to dummy reverse, but it doesn't work, and it leads to so many questions from people like, okay, how is this working? Since every character we know so far, be it giants, rocks, let's see, if you will, have been dummied reverse, but they've been unable to resist, which leads to many people wondering if, like, do zoning fruits, zoning fruits immune to dummy reverse? Is it like anyone with a devil fruit? Let's see, or is it that Loki and Luffy's devil fruits are so powerful, or maybe godlike in status in some extent, that it prevents Emu from dummy reversing them? If I had to guess, it's either going to be either because of the devil fruits or because I guess the dummy. Let's see. Oh, I've forgotten what I was going to say. It's either because of that devil fruit or let's see that Emu's sort of limited how or what he can do with dummy reverse or something. But yeah, I think I probably prefer like just those two devil fruits or something, because you could have like Emu doing dummy reverse on Kaido and Big Mom, and that's a way of bringing them back even for a minor role. But who knows? I have to wait and see in that regards. But it is interesting that Emu was a bit surprised that it didn't work, seeming like he was just doing a little bit of a test first, if you will. Let's see with this dummy reverse, but it kind of expected to fail. But nevertheless, I still like how Luffy does attempt to attack him, and then of course Loki manages to like freeze Emu, seemingly ending the fight, which I will admit would be a bit anticlimactic. But given how this chapter ends with Emu saying he's about to leave, I think this is more of like you got a bit of a taste of Luffy and Loki versus Emu, but Emu's going to come down himself, not possessed by Gunko, in order to take care of the situation, which means that Gunko is likely free to like do whatever that's going on between her and Brook, if you will. So I think let's see, we're still going to get some like those Brook Gunko moments, and who knows, maybe since Usopp's knocked out, maybe he can assist with that, unless Oda's going to have him fight someone like killing him down the line. But yeah, if he breaks free from his prison. So there is that. Oops. So there is that, but I do like how Loki is like also thinking that, let's see, he's just too big to fight, let's see, a small Gunko Emu, so it's like he goes back to his regular form and freezes him. And I do like how we see with the villagers that despite the fact that Loki did save them from the monsters and he is innocent from killing the king, they're still kind of mad at him for like destroying their villages and thinking like he goes overboard as well. So I don't think so I think at some point the Giants of Elbaf are going to probably have to realize that their prejudice against Loki caused them so much problems just for the rumors that they heard for so long. But yeah, it is kind of nice way of showing a bit of these characters again. But I do like how you see Jinbei, Nami, and trying to use their own sort of abilities to put out fire, and even Vegapunk saying that how there's only so much that the systems that they got can put them out. And let's see, I do like how I will admit it's a bit anticlimactic for me about how the Giants have become so defeated easily, but not much of a challenge for Zoro. So I'm hoping Oda will give him something else down the line. It'll be more of a challenge. But I do like how some of the Giants apologize for being dummy reversed with Dorian and Brookie saying that it happened to us, so don't worry about it yet. But I do like how Chopper just comes running in to try and to slap them up, surprising everyone, and like Zoro asking, "How did you do that?" and him going like, "Don't know." And it's like a nice moment where a nice Zoro Chopper moment, which it's been a while since that's happened. With Chopper complimented, I think not since Fishman Island actually, but that Chopper must be a great doctor, and I think that is a very nice and very, very, very accurate thing to say. Though I don't think the devil fruits were reversed by Chopper's doctor abilities, unfortunately. But it does lead to some questions about, I guess, the miracle kit. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see in that regards. But yeah. But nevertheless, I do like that Chopper's continuing to try and do some stuff. So yeah, even if it's just slapping people and reverting them back to their regular selves. But yeah. But anyway, I do like how more of the villages like also being, let's see, get more details on some of the other villages in the montage. But yeah. But the one thing that interests me is the fact that Bibelo has, let's see, we learned that the books of Ohara never burned. Let's see, even though the library was on fire, someone let's see, I don't see anyone that's entered or left, if you will. But given the situation they're in, I guess they they can't do full-time security. But interesting enough, let's see, Oda emphasizes that Bibelo is missing the Alec and Shrink stuff, which has even led that Bibelo has betrayed, let's see, both the Straw Hats and the Giants to give this knowledge to, like, I guess you could say the enemies. So, but yeah, of their union. But yeah, but I do think that let's see, this might also lead to the owl being like an actual spy, because everyone thought it would like be a person, but no, it's an owl. And who is the owl betraying them for? Well, given the fact that the world government wants to destroy those books, likely isn't the case for them. So instead, it's perhaps maybe Blackbeard, who's maybe done a deal with this owl to like acquire all the footsie knowledge that Egghead had gathered and use it for himself, for his own quest to be Pirate King and even rule the world. So, but yeah, so we might have that traitor plot line back in our midst, if you will. So, as everyone thought it was like that preschool teacher assistant for Saul, but no, it wasn't. But yeah, but at the very least, if Robin's not going to fight another God's Knight again, at the very least, I do like how her and Saul seem to be having this own little plot of trying to find out where all these books are going, and they have like a lead suspect, if you will. So yeah, but speaking of God's Knights and suspects, we end up seeing Saint Summers starting to regenerate and retaching his head, which, while I probably will admit he's not much of a threat, going to be seeing much as a threat now, given how he keeps getting his butts whooped. It is nice that he's come back to life, I guess, if you will. And it's interesting to see that he's also got a male heart, which might play a role down the line, for all we know. It could be that either Zoro has to cut them down with Conqueror's Haki, or, I don't know, Kid can use his magnetic abilities to do something to damage the heart. But nevertheless, it seems we've got a weakness for the God's Knights, and arguably a way for, like, for like Kid to possibly play a role down the line in the story, if his abilities try and help take these metal hearts away from the God's Knights so that allies can destroy them. Or let's see, nice to like giving either Zoro or Sanji a chance to actually fight someone stronger. If I had to guess, maybe Zoro here. Let's see, since he's the one that's nearby. No, who knows? But at the very least, I think this is to show me that the God's Knights are still not done yet. They will be back, even if some people might not see them much as a threat anymore. But we have to wait and see, if you will. But I do like how let's see, when Sanji is like also sort of like let's see, I suppose it didn't take long. Let's see, might drew us some criticism that, let's see, that those other God's Knights are weak, that it didn't take them long to take them out. But Frankie, I do like how Frankie's trying to say, hey now, Sanji, let's see, there's not an entire organization we're dealing with here. It's just 3 of them. And it's the and he even talks about how technically the God's Knights have weren't pulling their punches, and see, given what they did to Elbaf. So yeah, I do like that Oda has put that line, because after last week or so's chapter, like I think Sanji or Jutsu and Frankie talked about how it might be so easy their Yonko crew now. God's Knight shouldn't be a problem, even though I think there's enough evidence to say that God's Knights would be problems for Yonko crew, even if they got their butts whipped. But at the very least, this tells me, even though they got their butts whipped, they are going to come back down the line, probably for one last time, especially now that Emu is sort of like let me just find it. That Emu's starting to like take the stage, if you will. It's here we go. But yeah, let's see. And I do like that we finally get to see parts of like the Holy Land on fire, not the main building, but buildings around it. So yeah, it goes to show that there has been some chaos there. There has been some burns, because I think the last time Oda showed the Holy Land, it didn't look like anything, but no, here's the damage this time. But yeah, but I do like how Loki's having like a sort of Thanos moment. It's like, I'll do this myself, telling the five elders that he's going to go to Elbaf and he's going to leave the Holy Land, which is shocking because it seems like Emu has never done this or rarely done this. The closest you can probably get to is did he go with Saints? Did he possess Saint Sat and then teleport there, or is he actually just going? Is he doing that again, or is he actually? Well, probably not, since that didn't work with Gunko. He's going to go there in person and deal with the problem, which arguably is a bit curious because Emu may be possibly one of the final villains, but the final villain. But I guess this might be a way of Oda showing what he can do before that. But who knows? But it also could be that if Emu's fighting now, even if he doesn't win or lose, that doesn't mean he's going to be then the final antagonist for the final war, and Blackbeard's going to steal his powers. That's the sort of guess that people are having with this chapter. Is Emu going to arrive, or is this like some sort of death dress roaster situation with Punk Has It, where Doflamingo arrived, but he sort of like was too late and the Straw Hats had left. Either way, this chapter might be being either a good setup or a bit of an anticlimactic climax, but I'm going to say setup, and I'm not going to say what if I read or not next chapter that came out this Easter. I hope everyone had a happy Easter. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber, ready to sign off. But before that, I suppose I should give this chapter a score rating of, I'd say, probably a solid 8 out of 10. We got like nice Zoro Chopper interactions. The God's Knights are not yet quite finished, it seems. Luffy and Loki teaming up against Emu, and Emu finally coming down. Yeah, arguably, this is a very good setup chapter to what's to come. But yeah, like I said, for now, I'm signing off. So yeah, everyone, thank you everyone for listening, and goodbye.